but all of that's an ocean away. In a den of iniquity, you might as well burn. I promise not to beg you to stay. Heaven won't mind if I steal you for a moment. Love's God-given, so don't be afraid. I ain't gonna lie, makes it more exciting.
And Joe the Shirt is off the cuff. Welcome back once again to Joe the Shirt's Off the Cuff. I am your host, Joe the Shirt, and I am off the cuff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Beer. It's what's for breakfast. Anyway, welcome back, everybody. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Everybody enjoyed their 420 this past weekend. I know I did. I enjoyed it to the point where I don't remember what happened for a lot of it after. But I'm sure I had a good time, though. And you know what? Unlike drinking all weekend long, hangover. I feel great, actually. I'm feeling pretty damn good all around. Hope you are as well. As the title of today's show, Nothing But Fluff, indicates to you, I am doing nothing but fluff today. No hard-hitting stuff today, nothing serious. I'm not going to talk about the 5-year-old girls getting raped in India. I'm not going to talk about the bombing in Boston. I'm not going to talk about gun control, because you know what? Well, that stuff is important, and it's interesting, and it's deep, and it's meaningful, and it's what's on everybody's mind. Very much like Entertainment Weekly or Us Weekly. Every once in a while we need a little fluff. We need a little brain candy. I know I do, because like I said, yesterday's show, well, I had a lot of fun with it. A lot of it was a little on the heavy side, and I know that sometimes a lot of my rants get a little on the heavy side, but so I decided I wanted to step away from that today for just a little bit. And today's topics, shit like 5 secrets your man is keeping from you, and female celebrities in the news. That's what we're doing today, okay? Nothing hard-hitting in any way, shape, or form, all right? This is all going to be pure fluff, all right? So if you're out there and you happen to have testosterone, testicles, or a dick, you may want to step away from today's show. It may not be your cup of tea or a pint of ale. Who knows? But before we get started on that, let's get started with some celebrity birthdays. It being April the 22nd. If you were born April 22nd, you share birthdays with Roman Coppola, 48 years old. Byron Allen, 32 years old. And I'm going to look that up because I don't know if you've ever seen comedian Byron Allen. No fucking way I believe he's only 32 years old. I'd put another like 12 years on him easy. Porn star Marilyn Chambers is 61, who, I loved, as a kid growing up. But, you look at her now and you're just like, really? I used to jerk off to that? Charlotte Rae is 87. In case you don't remember who Charlotte Rae is, she was, of course, the maid on Different Strokes, and she was the head marm kind of character on The Facts of Life. Mrs. Garrett. She played Miss Garrett in both shows. Comedian Ryan Stiles is 54. You may remember him. He currently appears regularly on Two and a Half Men, married to Alan's wife, Judith. And you might remember him also from Whose Line Is It Anyway? Great, great show. Glenn Campbell, 77. Peter Frampton is 63. What is it, All Musicians Day? And the one and only Jack Nicholson is 76 years old. How the hell does Jack do it, man? I'm going to guess it's all that weed he smokes, all that 420, and I'm sure Jack was smoking this weekend. Okay, so we got, like I said, I'm keeping it on the soft and fluffy side today, not doing anything hard-hitting whatsoever. We're going to talk a little bit, for starters, about Carrie Underwood. Now, when was the last time you heard me say the words Carrie Underwood on this show? Ever! It's never happened before, But she is a little bit in the news over some of her tweets. Apparently, Carrie Underwood and several animal rights groups oppose what they call the Ag-Gag bill that would require anyone recording images of animal abuse to submit unedited footage or photos to law enforcement within 48 hours. I've read this article, and I took notes, and I'm still trying to understand, why would you oppose bringing this information to authorities in a timely manner. I think what they're trying to insinuate here is that at 48 hours, that's the time limit. You couldn't bring this information any later because then by that time, well, the abuse has already happened. It happened a long time ago. It's not a big deal. I guess that's what they're thinking. It's according to this, opponents say that the deadline will compromise investigations into farming cruelty cases as well as potentially dangerous impact on labor issues, food safety, and First Amendment rights. Okay, that's a lot of jargon there for taking video of animals, getting, thrown in the microwave or being force-fed water to get their weight up or what have you. Okay, unsafe conditions. Now, in a quote, from Carrie Underwood in a tweet here, she says, "Shame on Tennessee lawmakers for passing the Ag-Gag bill. If Governor Bill Haslam signs this, he needs to expect me at his front door." So, first of all, Carrie's pissed off, and she just threatened a United States governor. Okay, good start. Way to go, Carrie. Way to show those country roots of yours. Nice. State Representative Andy Holt responded to Carrie's quote here. Quote, "I would say that Carrie Underwood will stick to singing. I'll stick to lawmaking." Ooh, ow, ooh, God. Well, so basically, tell that little lady to stay in her place. Oh, I love it when people do that because I don't know. I'm not saying that it's dumb or smart. I'm just saying that it's entertaining to me. And finally, Underwood responded, quote, "I should stick to singing? Question mark. Wow. Sorry. I'm just a tax-paying citizen concerned for the safety of my family." End quote. Exactly how videos of animal cruelty has anything to do with protecting her family is really kind of beyond me. This seems like one of those things that's just like, okay, I understand you're pissed. And honestly, not that I want to call Carrie Underwood dumb, but it seems to me almost as if she didn't quite glom onto what the issue actually is. Exactly how this concerns the safety of her family is really beyond me. I mean, hey, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the one that's uneducated. Maybe I'm the one that needs to do more research and check out the facts and get to know things for myself and just instead of just accepting what the liberal media feeds me. But I'm too lazy to do that. That's not going to happen. So Carrie Underwood getting all pissy. Oh my God. As you can see, like I said, nothing but soft and fluffy. And then I went off and did a little research, a very little research today, all on, those type of little tidbits of information that you get out of women's magazines. What's the most notorious one? Let's see, not Hustler. No, that's a man's magazine. I mean, a lot of women in Hustler, but no. Women's Day kind of magazine, or Cosmo. There you go, Cosmo magazine. Probably one of the biggest women's magazines out there, which spews so much bullshit on a regular basis. It makes me look credible. That's how much bullshit Cosmo likes to spew. And what I love about these little, 5 things that men keep from women. That's the first one today. 5 things men keep from women. I'm like, we're not really keeping it from you. We're not just telling it to you outright. And how you don't already know this really, belies, just defies all credibility. I mean, it's just nuts. Okay, 5 secrets men are keeping from women. Okay, number 1. Men in general, we don't have friends that we share and communicate with regularly like women do. That's right, we're not a bunch of little pussies. No. And this is one I agree with because, I got my guy friends and we'll get together and, maybe we'll play some basketball. Maybe we'll watch basketball on TV. Maybe we'll go have a few beers. And yeah, we'll talk. We'll give and take. But you know what? End of the day, I'm not calling my buddy Lamont or my buddy Craig or my buddy Chris and, telling them all about, how hurt my feelings were that, my girlfriend thinks that Ray Stevenson is prettier than I am. I save that for you guys. See? I save it for you. But I don't call my friends and I bitch and moan about, That's not what guys do, generally speaking, you know? I mean, there are exceptions to the rule. They're called gay guys. Number 2. We don't care about all the little irrelevant details in your story. Just get to the fucking point. I add the fucking part myself. And again, this is one that women really should know by now. I mean, if you're a woman and you've ever been telling your man a story about something that happened in your day, and he starts to get that glossy, glassy-eyed look in his face, it means because you are putting in way too much filler into the story, okay? You're telling him all this shit that happened between your friend and your mother and the kid over there, and what happened on this end and how that happened. And I'm like, isn't this just a story about you getting a flat tire? I don't need to know about your emotional state, at the time. Number 3. Men, we like commands, not questions during the conversation. Now, I had to read this twice, the little explanation they had for this, and I kind of understand it. What they're saying is that there's no better way to get your man to shut up that when you ask him a question that involves the word why. Why are you doing this? Why would you want to do that? These kind of questions just makes us want to have to defend ourselves, and so then we don't want to talk to you because it gets a little it feels as if you're attacking what it is we like in our lives or what we like to do with our lives. This why question. Okay, number 4. Making first date chit chat is painful, but I think that's something that's painful on both sides, isn't it? I mean, it's tough. First date chit chat. I mean, it can be, especially when you really don't know each other. Maybe you met each other through internet dating, or maybe you got hooked up, via mutual friend. And yeah, when you get into that situation, yeah, it's like making first date chit chat is difficult. It's painful, but you know what? I don't think that's something that you shouldn't already know. I mean, if it's awkward and painful for you, you better believe it's awkward and painful for us. We don't like it. And number 5, and this one was my favorite, we like and expect sex on the first date. Boom, booyah. Who didn't know that one? Are you going to tell me that you're a woman living in this modern age of ours and you don't know that the guy that asked you out wants to fuck you? You don't get that one yet? You haven't figured that one out? Why do you think we asked you out in the first fucking place? To get you to know you as a human fucking being? Hell no. That comes later. I'm a big opponent of women that they go out with a guy that they really, 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 really like, and then they hold out on the sex because they like him that much. And then we'll go on a date with a guy that they don't really like that much, but they feel like getting laid. And you know what? That's a bad strategy, ladies. You think it's a good strategy? I'm telling you, it's not. If you like the guy, go ahead and fuck him. A lot of the opponents of this will tell you that. That just means that he'll think that it's just easy to have sex with you, and this isn't going anywhere. And by slowing it down and not giving him sex, even if you want it yourself, you're actually letting him know that this is actually more important to you than just a fuck. And that, I'm telling you right now, is my indication to say, I'm getting the fuck out of here as fast as humanly possible because she wants something else, and all I want to do is fuck. It's like, you want me to get to know you as a person? Well, we can do that after. It's called pillow talk. We can do that later. We can do that on the second date, the third date, the 10th date, at our wedding, on her honeymoon. We have the rest of our lives to get to know each other. Why can't we just have sex now, especially if you want to as well? So like I said, nothing here is something that you, as a woman, should already know. Okay, we're going to take a little break now. Today's music is brought to you by Alexa Wilkinson. That first song of hers was Heaven Won't Mind. And this one here is Interest of Saving Time. I'm Joe the Shirt, and I'm off the cuff. We'll be right back.
To say, and I wonder why I won't cry when you finally
And Joe the Shirt is off the cuff and back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Nothing But Fluff. That's all we're doing today. Nothing but female celebrities, women's issues with men, and songs by women that sound really, really sensitive and make me want to menstruate. Okay. But before we get on to that, we got more celebrity birthdays. We're going backwards today. We're going to do April 21st now. Okay, if your birthday was April 21st, that being yesterday, you share a birthday with Charles Grodin, 78. Andy McDowell's 55, who I still think is pretty hot. Robert Smith is 54. Iggy Pop is 66, looking 96. James McAvoy is 34. You may remember him as the young Professor X in the most recent X-Men movie and in the new one coming. Tony Danza, is 62. And Queen Elizabeth II is 87. What does it take to kill this bitch? Seriously. I'm sure Prince Charles is wondering. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Prince Charles kicks off before the Queen does. That really wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Oh, my God. So we are talking about female celebrities and issues that men have with women and women have with men and all that silly bullshit that we're going through with today. Let's shift gears here to 5 things that men hate to hear from women. Okay. Now, not on this list is actually what I talked about, I think, a couple of weeks ago, when a woman says, "I'm fat." Men don't like to hear this, and I agreed with this when I read it in a women's magazine. I completely agree with this because that leaves you almost nowhere to go. Because when a woman says, "I'm fat," what are you supposed to say exactly? I mean, you're going to say, "No, baby, you're not fat. You look great. Are you kidding me? You could actually stand to gain a couple of pounds." You know, she's going to ascribe that as being bullshit. And you're just trying to make her feel better, which, of course, is the truth. But what else are you going to do? If you stay quiet, then they just automatically assume that you agree with the idea that they're fat. Okay? And so my recommendation is to just run right there. Don't because that also brings in a psychological effect to men, which is, well, it's like, well, shit, if you're fat, why the fuck am I with you? See? But on this particular list, 5 things men hate to hear from women. Any sentence that starts with "my last boyfriend," boom, right there. Why are you bringing him up? We're on our first date. You're talking about your last boyfriend or your ex-husband or that guy you did at the Bobby Brown concert. We don't want to hear it, you know. And even if we do, it's a bad idea, you know. You want to talk about your last boyfriend, what a great guy he was? We don't want to hear it. You want to talk about your last boyfriend, what a dick he was? We don't want to hear it. It's all that does is make any possible good time or future relationship that much more difficult. Again, something you as a woman should already fucking know. Number 2, while you're on a date, if the woman says, "Do you mind if I take this call?" "No, not at all. I'll see you later." Then get up and walk out the restaurant and let her stick her with the bill. That one comes from Tom Likas, actually. He said that, you know, if a woman answers her phone while she's on a date, he'll excuse himself to go to the bathroom and then walk out the door and just stick her with the bill. You know, and I support this. You know what? I asked you out. I picked you up. I'm paying for dinner, I'm paying for the movie or the show or whatever. You know what? I'm not entitled to sex, but I like to think that I'm entitled to your fucking attention. Number 3, so how do you feel about abortion? Or similar questions like the death penalty, gun control. These are what the magazine describes as a litmus test question. You know, they're trying to like delve into you personally, the real you, and based on your answer, which a lot of the time you're just going to get wrong, you know, she's going to make her decision as to what it is she thinks about you for real. You know, it's a stupid thing to ask. You know, a lot of women will defend themselves and say, "Well, I'm an opinionated, educated woman. I should be able to be opinionated, educated, and ask questions and, you know, start an intelligent conversation." And the fact is, well, that's not what you're actually doing. What you're doing is, you know, checking to see, you know, whether or not you guys will get along. And I'm like, that's something that can happen after the first date. Maybe the third, maybe the 6th, you know. Definitely before you're married. Don't wait till the whole abortion question comes up, and until after you're married. That's a bad idea. But you want to leave the heavy questions for later. You really do. I don't think it's a good idea on the first date. Oh, also number 4, quote, and I found this cute pair of sandals, and good for you. I don't fucking care. I really fucking don't. We don't want to hear it. You know what? You want to talk about the cute pair of sandals that you found? You call your girlfriends. You call your sister. You call your mother. You call your gay friend, whoever. But don't tell me about your pair of fucking sandals that you found that you wanted to get in taupe but could only find in blue, and then they looked in the back and it turns out they did have it in taupe, and don't fucking care. You want to tell me, if I asked you, so what did you do today? Oh, I bought a pair of sandals. They're really cute. Okay, boom. You're done with that. You don't need to give me the rest. And finally, number 5, questions like, how do you feel about having a family? Again, this is another litmus test. This is one of those questions that's asking, where are we going with this? What do you think is going to happen with this? Do you think, because if a woman really wants to have kids, she obviously wants to be with a man that wants to have kids as well. Again, not something that needs to be discussed on the first date. I think it's something that can wait. Get to know each other. Find out whether or not you actually like this person before you decide whether or not you want to have children with him. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. Women make you crazy. God bless them. I love them. I can't get enough women. Women are just, for my money, the best thing on the planet. If there is a God out there, women are a great idea. And, BTW here, tits, stroke of genius. Now, moving on to more celebrity women. We're going to move on to the one and only Danica Patrick. You may know her, you may not know her. She's got a lot of female fans out there that are into NASCAR racing. I make fun of NASCAR racing all the time. I make fun of auto racing in general, but NASCAR racing is the number one sport in this country. Okay, outselling every other sport out there. Football, baseball, basketball. It's all bullshit compared to NASCAR, okay? I'm not into it. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a bunch of guys making left turns at 200 miles per hour. That's really it to me. I know there's a lot more involved to it, but I don't care. Danica Patrick recently got into a little bit of war of words with one fellow racer, David Gilliland. Quote, she says, "He tries to take me out every time," in reference to, when they're racing. "Tell his spotter that I'm coming after him if he does it again. In fact, I might just do it right now." So Danica Patrick here, physically threatening another racer. His response was, through his rep, shut up and race. That's it. That's all. Just shut up and race. And that's a piece of advice I think Danica should follow. Now, this may not seem like the biggest deal in the world because, racers, are competitive people, and competitive people oftentimes can be quite violent people. And that's fine, but I think Danica, who's a whole 5'1", should check herself on this one, because this is not the first time she's had these type of little brouhahas with other racers. There was one story last year about her actually physically attacking another racer, like punched him or something. And of course he didn't respond in kind, but I would have. I don't give a fuck. You know what? You come after me like a man, I'm gonna fucking hit you like a man. You know what? She's a woman, and she's in a very male-dominated sport. So I admire her gumption. I admire the fact that she's willing to put herself out there. And it's not an easy thing to do. But there are limits. Okay, physically threatening somebody, physically attacking somebody is nothing that you want to do in general when you happen to weigh 5'1" and you weigh 100 pounds. Without being Bruce Lee, it's a bad idea, okay? Don't do it. And like I said, I don't give any woman on this planet, short of my mother, any leeway on this one. Like, if one of my sisters were to punch me in the face, she's getting clocked. That's all there is to it. I've had a couple of girlfriends, and even the ex-wife, they had bad habit of getting, physically violent. They'd slap me or they'd punch me or whatever. And after I punched them in the shoulder and that arm couldn't move for another 3 hours, they never did that again. And I'm with that. I don't think that anybody should go around hitting anybody, especially when you're supposedly in a loving, caring relationship. And I think if you are not in that type of relationship, if you're in a professional arena and you have a professional relationship with your other fellow racers, you better be ready to back your shit up. That's what I'm telling you right now. You better be ready to back your shit up, because I think that if Danica Patrick goes after another racer physically, that she should be ready to get her jaw broken and then rewired and lose even more weight. That's my opinion right there. I don't appreciate it when women think that they can just get away with hitting somebody. Because what would have happened if the racer that she attacked just whipped around and just cold cocked her in the head, knocked her ass out, broke a nose, broke a jaw. He would have been thought of as the bad guy. He would have been like, oh, you shouldn't hit girls. And I'm like, well, you know what? You wanna hit me like a man? I'm gonna hit you back like a man. That's a simple fact right there. And every guy out there understands that concept. You hit me, I'm gonna hit you back. All right, but when a woman hits you, the average man feels this weird body control that they know. It's like, I can't hit her as much as I fucking want. I really want to hit her, And there's no good way of hitting her, There's no good way of getting into a fight with a woman, because you get into a fight with a woman, what's the absolute worst thing that can happen? She kicks your ass. It's really unlikely, okay, that the average woman cannot kick the average man's ass, And if you happen to be a female UFC fighter, you know what? You are not the average woman. Okay, the average 5'4" woman, I'm pretty sure I can take her out. So don't do it. Avoid that situation, And the same thing goes for physical threats, verbal threats. You know what? Don't intimate that you're going to kick my ass, because you've all been in situations, the guys out there have been in situations where one guy says he's going to kick your ass, and before he even does anything, you're swinging on his ass because, he threatened you. So you made sure that didn't happen again. So, again, Danica, please shut the fuck up and race. Okay, and we are going to take our next break right now. With more music from Alexa Wilkinson. Again, very fluffy day. And her song, Movie Moment. I'm Joe the Shirt. I'm off the cuff, and I'll be right back. And once again, Joe the Shirt is off the cuff. Welcome back. All right. Welcome back to Nothing But Fluff on Joe the Shirt's Off the Cuff. Coming up next, very special MaxiPad commercial. I swear to God, I feel the spirit of the goddess flowing through me. I feel like having yoga and chai tea. Been talking about the silly little things that women should already know about men, talking about stupid female celebrities, and of course, our last celebrity birthdays for the day. This being going back to Saturday, April 20th. A lot of great birthdays on April 20th. Some of them surprised the hell out of me. If your birthday was this past 420, you shared a birthday with George Takei, 76 years old. We're talking about Star Trek, movie roles, TV roles, and of course, one of the biggest gay advocates for gay marriage in the world right now. Actor Shamar Moore is 43. Carmen Electra is 41. Joey Lawrence is 37. Andy Serkis is 49. You probably remember Andy as Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movies. And also as Caesar in the newest Planet of the Apes movie. Jessica Lange is 64. Baseball legend Don Mattingly is 52. Alan Houston is 42 years old. Clinton Howard is 54. Actor Crispin Glover is 49. And today, Adolf Hitler is 144 years old. No, obviously not true. He died way back in 1945. But I found it just hysterical to me that Adolf Hitler was born on 420, because if there was ever one person on this fucking planet that could have used a little puff, puff, pass, or maybe take another puff, 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 puff before he passed, it was definitely Adolf fucking Hitler. I mean, that guy had too much stress in his life. He needed to really just chill, man, mellow out, But he just insisted on harshing everybody else's mellow, man. If he had just smoked a little weed, man, there wouldn't have been no Third Reich, man. It would have been more like the third donut at 7-Eleven, man. Yes, that's definitely a man that needed to calm down considerably. And moving back to things between men and women. Now, we talked a lot about things that men don't want to hear. Let's talk about the things that men do want to hear. All right? So coming from you ladies. And again, this is stuff you should know, but these are a little more complicated, because we'll go through them. 5 things men love to hear from women. Number 1, then what happened? That's it right there. Basically, you are asking him, to continue with the story he's telling you. Instead of just going, and you get that glossy look in your eye, we like to hear that you're actually interested in the story, that you're interested in what's going on in our lives, and then what happened, and what did you mean by that, and how did that come about, and then what did you do? We like to, every once in a while, man, we like to be the center of attention. It isn't always about you ladies. Number 2, that's pretty impressive. See, men love to hear that. We like to hear praise. You know what? When I fixed the toilets, both of them, here in the house, I was happy to hear my girlfriend let me know that she was impressed that I could do it, without making me feel as if she was shocked by it. That's a nice thing, when a man does something that he thinks is manly, difficult, an accomplishment, we like to hear the compliments, the kudos, Here's one that I think a lot of women seem to forget. The words thank you. I think, and I agree with this, a lot of times, and this, again, ladies, you should already know this one now, but a lot of times, women do take for granted, a lot of the things that men do, whether it's opening the door for you or walking you back to your apartment, even if he's not spending the night, just walking to make sure you're safe, or, offering to pay for something that, he wasn't expected to pay for, or, helping you move something heavy, who knows, whatever it is, thank you. It feels nice. And I'm not talking about when you're dating, I'm talking about when you're in a relationship, and in those situations, it's very, very easy to forget the niceties, the politeness of day-to-day life. It's very easy to forget to say thank you. Number 4, men like to hear the words, what do you do when you're not at work? Again, it's showing interest. I feel this one's a little repetitive. Reminds me a lot of number 1, but, it's showing that you have an interest in him beyond whatever it is he does with you. Maybe he's got a comic book collection. Maybe he likes to work on classic cars. Maybe he's got a soccer team that he plays with on the weekends. It shows an interest in the man. It shows that you showing some interest in him beyond just what affects you, and that's a very popular thing. And number 5, men love it when they hear the words, I'd like to get your opinion on something. Okay, See, we love that. And why do we love that? I'll tell you why we love it. We love that because we get to feel like we're playing the hero. We're the knight in shining armor, you know. You have a problem, and Lord knows men love to solve problems. We don't want to talk about the problem. We never want to talk about the fucking problem, but we want to figure out how to fix it, you know. And I understand it's a bad idea for men to try to fix women. It's just like it's an equally bad idea for women to try to fix men. But if you give us a problem that you think we can help you with, that you don't think you can handle on your own, we get to feel like Superman or Batman or Spider-Man or any other comic book hero out there. We get to feel, you know, like Chuck Norris, you know, in a fixing the toilet sort of way. You know, that's something that we enjoy. It makes us feel good about ourselves, you know. We get to feel important, special, however you want to look at it. Now, I know I've been giving the ladies a hard time on this today, but you know what? To the guys out there, this stuff applies to you as well, okay? Everything I talked about applies to you as well. You know, you might want to ask every once in a while, so then what happened? I tell you that bitch is crazy. You know, they ask questions, you know, be polite, say thank you. And it's very easy in this modern world of ours. You get home from a hard day at work. She's been home all day with the kids, cooking, cleaning. Maybe she went to work herself that day and then came home to get everything together. And you come home and all you do is sit down in front of the TV with a beer and watch the game. And she sets out dinner and she makes sure that the kids are dressed and clean and they didn't burn down the house. You better fucking say thank you. You know, you better, you know, walk up behind her, give her a big hug and a kiss and let her know how much you appreciate her. Because, you know what, in this world, you got to give. You got to give some. You got to give to get, all right? And for both ladies and men, if you don't ask, you don't get. So if you feel that there's something missing from your relationship, you might want to bring it up. I'm just saying, communication is key here. I know, I feel like Dr. Phil all of a sudden over here. I feel, oh my God, my ovaries are swelling with pride. And finally, the last female celebrity that we're going to talk about today. You guys all know about this one already. Reese Witherspoon. Yes, this is my fave. Reese Witherspoon arrested in Atlanta and jailed for disorderly conduct. Yes. As was her husband, Jim Toth, who was also arrested and jailed. But he was for DUI. He was pulled over because he could not stay in his lane. And he was pulled over and took a breathalyzer and blew a .139, which is almost twice the legal limit of .08. So, yeah, or more, actually. I'm trying to remember. .08. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It was high. The fucker was loaded, all right? Apparently, he was just swerving back and forth all over the street in his 2013 Ford Focus. Really, you can't do better than a Ford Focus? I mean, it's a 2013 Ford Focus. I'm sure it's a very, very nice Ford Focus. Hell, I have a Ford Focus, but it's not what you would think of when you think about celebrity cars. You know what I mean? Anyway, while her husband was taking his sobriety test and blowing into the breathalyzer, Witherspoon, who was also quite drunk, hung her head out of the window and told the arresting officer that she didn't believe that he was a real police officer. The officer, when asked about this, responded, quote, "I told Miss Witherspoon to sit on her butt and be quiet." Good for you, man. When you're dealing with some drunk bitch, that's exactly what you want to say. And then Reese exited the vehicle when she was told not to. And then when she got out, she was ordered to return to her car. Quote from the officer, she stated that she was a U.S. citizen and that she's allowed to stand on American ground. That's what she said. He then proceeded to arrest her. She resisted arrest and was, handcuffed and taken into custody after her husband, Jim Toth, told her to calm down. Could you just see that? Reese Witherspoon is sloppy drunk off her ass and just being a stupid bitch, and her husband's just right there in handcuffs going, baby, calm down. Just calm down. Just calm down. No, baby, calm down. And we've all been with women when they've gotten to that point where you're just like, there's no reasoning with her. And this is my absolute favorite part. Reese Witherspoon pulled out the ultimate celebrity tagline as far as I'm concerned. Do you know my name? You're about to find out who I am. You are going to be on the national news. This is what she's saying to the cop. She pulled out the old, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am in this town? Do you know who I am? You know, I'm famous. You don't know. And she got busted. She got arrested. She got to spend the night in jail with her husband. But, hey, they were together, though. It's very romantic, actually, when you think about it. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Reese Witherspoon. I've enjoyed her movies. Attractive woman, lovely woman, good actress. But like so many celebrities, got caught in a bad situation and made it worse because she was loaded and pulled out her celebrity card as her get-out-of-jail-free card, which does work a lot of the time, but usually not while you're resisting arrest. That's not a good way to go. Ask Lindsay Lohan about that one, okay? I don't know if you saw the mugshots of Reese. And if you haven't, I'll be posting it up on Joe the Shirt's Off the Cuff Facebook page because it was just funny. I love it when celebrities do shit. Like, I really do. It just proves once again that they are just like us. All right? They you know, you see that in Us Weekly magazine. It's like, they're just like us. You know, they stroll with their kids. They buy coffee. They get DUIs. They get arrested. You know, so Reese later on, about a day or so later, apologized for her behavior and admitted that obviously she had way too much to drink. And, you know, right there, I'm going to give her a big kudos there because so much of the time people do not want to admit that they were in the wrong. You know, so it's always for me a it's a forgiving quality that I'm willing to let them slide on, because so many of the times when you have these celebrities that get arrested and they act the ass, you know, they continue to act the ass afterward. Hello, you know, Mel Gibson. I mean, we eventually forgive them, you know, because in the long run, you know, they're celebrities and we're not, and we don't know them. They're not family, so we don't really give a shit. But in the knee-jerk reaction, we do love to hold them accountable, especially when they fuck up. And Lord knows, we love it when celebrities fuck up. That's one of our favorite things in the world, you know? You're famous, you're rich, you're beautiful, your entire job is to look good and make believe you're a waitress and make believe you're a cab driver and make believe that you're a normal person, you know, on a TV show or a movie for a couple of hours, and then you go home to your, you know, huge mansion and, you know, do cocaine. But, you know, so, you know, when you fuck up, we feel better. And that is my time for today. Thank you for listening. Today's last song by Alexa Wilkinson is called Lullaby Appetite. All right, Lullaby Appetite. Oh, boy, now, God, now what will I do while I'm listening to Lullaby Appetite? I think I'm just going to have a good cry. I'm Joe the Shirt, and I'm off the cuff. Stop.
Enough fun, let me take you home to your place in the setting sun. I've been thinking of ways to rearrange this little house of strange beings, and you are one of those things we hope for in our lives. Want you so badly to be in mine. To you all the time, pick right off where we left, fill my lullaby appetite with a song that grows with time. La da da da, la da 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 da. Rest assured there will be closure for all who care to see me on that stage, step up and sing.